One punch in the 10th, so he is always dangerous. I think the 15 months off is going to work against
Vinny Paz and Dana Rosenblatt. In the news, Floyd Mayweather, Diego Corrales. Somebody's stock is going up. Super fight, it's on. Mosley and De La Hoya. And how boxing turned one life around. Friday Night Fights, now. Hi, everybody. It's Friday Night Fights. Brian Kenny and, of course, Max Kellerman. We've got the Harlem Hammer in the main event. He's knocked out Murky Sosa and Bryant Brandon. We've seen that. So impressive, Max. But are we overrating his power from these knockouts?
No, I think it's difficult to overrate James Butler's power. Of course, maybe you can overrate him as a boxer because he can be outboxed. And the curse of all these big punchers, a lot of the times, they don't move their hands enough, doesn't throw enough punches. It also remains to be seen how Butler's going to respond to adversity, how well he's going to be able to take a punch. And Arthur Allen will be throwing a lot of punches. But when it comes to punching power, in a pound-for-pound sense, Butler is right there with anyone in boxing. He can really bang. Allen has his work cut out for him tonight if he wants to go the distance.
We'll have the report card on Floyd Mayweather and Diego Corrales. Max will weigh in on who he thinks would win that fight if the two should meet. And Teddy Atlas working the fight and working the corner at the same time. Let's throw it out to Bob Papa and Teddy Atlas as well. Guys?
Thanks, Brian and Max. Friday Night Fights on ESPN2, presented by Miller High Life. Billy Irwin and John Bailey squaring off in our first bout of the evening, a 10-round lightweight bout from the legendary Blue Horizon in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There is the macho midget, John Bailey, 27 years of age, weighed in at 137 pounds, has a professional record of 15-5-1 with 10 knockouts, although he is coming off a November loss to Mike Griffith. Billy the Kid Irwin from Niagara Falls, Canada, ranked number 1 by the IBF in the lightweight division, weighed in at 136 pounds. He's 31 years of age, 7 consecutive knockout victories. He is 30-3 with 20 knockouts in his professional career. 6 of his last 8 have been on Friday Night Fights. We asked Irwin and Bailey about the showdown tonight.
He's a guy who comes forward, which is pretty much what I like. I'm an aggressive counterpuncher, and I'm just going to be still putting a hard jab in his face, countering off his punches, and, of course, dig the left hooks to the body.
I see him fight his strengths. He's a big puncher. He's got a sneaky counter right hand. He's got a really good left hook. Good double hook. He hooks their head to the body to the head. He reverses it up. His body punch is probably the best. His weaknesses, he's right in front of me. He stands right in front of me. No side-to-side movement, no lateral movement. Got to attack Billy at angles. That's the key.
That is the Friday Night Spotlight for Billy Irwin and John Bailey. Both men in the center of the ring as we get set for this 10-round lightweight bout.
Good evening, gentlemen. You were both given
Referee is Frank Cappuccino for this first bout of the evening. And they'll use the unified rules here in the state of Pennsylvania for all the bouts, and they go as follows. If you knock down rule, no standing aim count. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Accidental cut goes up the scorecards after 4 rounds are complete. Billy Irwin coming off a December 10th win in Pennsylvania, a 4th round TKO against Jose Vito Ramos. Ramos, in that fight, had landed 70 more punches through the first 3 rounds. He was connecting at 46%. Irwin at 20%. Ramos had thrown 60 more punches, but Irwin was able to finish it off. Since being reunited with his original trainer, Pat Kelly, in October of 1998, Billy Irwin is 7-1 with 7 knockouts. And Teddy, he is poised and waiting patiently for a title shot.
He's going to look for that left hook to the body because that's his bread and butter. And he has a guy in front of him who he might have to do that with to slow down a little bit.
Bailey has lost 2 of his last 3. I mentioned earlier a November 10th loss to Mike Griffith, who's scheduled to get a shot against Paul Spadafora, the IBF lightweight champion. Prior to that, he had a win in August, and in April 30th of last year, a 10-round loss to Joey Gamache. There is the knockout ratio. 10 knockouts in the first 2 rounds for Irwin. 6 of Bailey's 10 knockouts have come in the first 2 rounds as well. Bailey has 1 knockout past the 5th round. Irwin has 3 past the 8th.
Well, Bailey comes right at you. What you see is what you get. Started in the tough man contest, had a couple of amateur fights right in front of you. And you can see already Billy Irwin is looking for that left hook to the head. He's looking to counter it in there, get a spot.
Irwin tends to start slowly, blocking a lot of those punches, but Bailey right now is busy with the 2.
Bailey, even though he's the rawer guy, as far as amateur background, Billy Irwin had a big amateur background. Bailey's trying to be a little bit flexible here, versatile, trying to box a little bit. Know he has a more experienced guy in front of him, a guy who likes you in front of him so he can get off with that left hook. So to the credit of Bailey, he's trying to box a little bit.
Irwin had 122 wins as an amateur. In fact, he represented Canada at the Barcelona Olympics in 1992. There's a left hook from Irwin, and he doubles it up to the body and head.
That's what he's finding a home with, that double hook. The second one so far has been effective. Irwin just has to be careful that he doesn't stand straight up like he did a second ago with Bailey. Take a picture after he punches.
This is Irwin's 7th fight here at the Blue Horizon in the last year and a half. He has become a favorite here at the legendary Blue. They like his style. The guy will stand there and slug it with him.
Irwin's showing his experience, picking his spots, letting Bailey do all the work. Irwin's looking to punch inside those punches, cover up, and looking to throw something right down the middle of the highway. Like that. Looking for counters, Irwin.
Final seconds of his first round, Billy Irwin picking his spots. Irwin in the red, John Bailey is in the gold. And Irwin landing more meaningful punches, but Bailey has been much busier, and as we mentioned, Irwin tends to get off to a slower start. That is the end of round 1. Scheduled for 10 here at the Blue Horizon tonight. Coming up in our main event this evening, the USBA Super Middleweight Championship. The Harlem Hammer, James Butler, will defend his title for the first time. He knocked off Bryant Brannon in his last fight to win it. Arthur Allen, a veteran out of Pittsburgh, will be in the ring against Mr. Butler. Glad you can join us for Friday Night Fights on ESPN2. Bob Pop along with Teddy Atlas. And no, they did not lose Teddy's luggage at the airport. Teddy, you're in the cash tonight because you're going to be in the hole. You're going to be in the corner tonight, working a fight and working with us.
Some of the fringe benefits of being able to work in the corner. You don't have to wear the jacket. Hey, Max, don't get jealous. But, yeah, I'm going to be working with my kid, Alvira Maricki, and hopefully everything will go okay.
All right, now, are you nervous about the fact that, you're out here right now and your guys in the back right now starting to get ready?
I've done this a few times before, so I'm not too nervous. But I have to say that I lost the luxury of what usually is a luxury here with you, is I don't have to worry about who wins. Tonight I got to worry about who wins. So it makes it a little different.
So Alvira Maricki will fight before the main event tonight, and we have a very good main event for you as well here at the Blue Horizon. Billy Irwin and John Bailey. Underway round number 2. We're going to schedule a 10-round lightweight bout. Irwin in the red. Bailey is in the gold trunks. No knockdowns in the first round. Bailey much busier, but Irwin landed the more solid punches. Take a look at the punch numbers in the first round, and you see that in that first round, Bailey throwing nearly 70 more punches, but only landing 11. Billy Irwin accurate with his punches.
Irwin covers up real well. That's his defense. It's to counter punch and to cover real well. If there's a flaw to it, sometimes he may not move his head enough. And if guys get the right distance and put punches together, they can get some through. And that's what Bailey's trying to do now.
Of those 106 punches thrown by Bailey, 75 were jabs. And he only landed 6 of them.
It's nice to cover up, but you don't want to stand stationary when you cover up. If the guy puts them together, he'll find an opening. Plus, you keep yourself handcuffed a little bit. You got to sometimes wait till he's done. You move your head, you create an opening. You don't allow the guy to sit in there on you, Bob, and put together a lot of punches. He's got to worry. There's the counter.
Yeah, that's it. Irwin with that counter left. Trying to mix in the right. Looks like some blood around the left eye. of Bailey. There's some swelling anyway.
You see Bailey's going at about 60 miles an hour. Irwin's going at 40. You can see Irwin, the experienced guy. He has to look like he knows he's going to get to his guy. He's got the look of an experienced guy. Yeah, I'll find what I want to find.
Now, when we spoke with Irwin back in September and December, he thought he'd be fighting for a world title right about now. And with Tito Cardona, Paul Spadafora, whoever won that bout, Spadafora wound up winning it. Now Irwin says maybe he'll get his shot sometime in August or September. We asked him about Spadafora's narrow win against Sosa recently here on Friday Night Fights, and he said Paul showed a lot of heart, showed the heart of a champion, but he was lucky. The referee should have stopped that fight.
Look for Irwin to punch in between some of these wide punches of Bailey's. I think Irwin wants action. There it is. He wants something coming at him so he can fill the spot. Hard to find a hole if the hands aren't coming at you. When the hands are coming at you, you can find a hole.
Final seconds of the second round. Through the first two, Billy Irwin more accurate, John Bailey busier. Friday Night Fight, sold out Blue Horizon, Billy Irwin, and John Bailey and Irwin with the counter, Teddy.
Yeah, came right back. That's the experience. The man standing there taking a little bit of a picture, waiting for a receipt. Come right back, you find them. And you keep them defensive.
They get set for the start of round number 3 between Irwin and Bailey. So far, Irwin landed the more accurate, clean blows. Bailey trying to work off the jab. Bailey has thrown 137 jabs through the first 2 rounds, but he's only landed 13 of them. I'll take a look at the punch numbers in round number 2. 102 punches thrown by Bailey, so he's gone over the 100 punch mark in each of the first 2 rounds, but his connect percentage well below that of Irwin.
This kind of fight will judge the eyes and the judgment of the judges. You got a guy who's much busier, as you just said, Bailey, but you got a guy that's much more accurate and pinpoint, named Irwin. That's supposed to count more.
I'm telling you, also subconsciously, I mean, when they announce the boxers, everyone knows that Irwin is number 1 in the IBF, so when it's the guy who's the favorite that's throwing less punches, but the more accurate one, the judges tend to see that a little bit better. As opposed to the underdog who might be doing that, but he won't get that credit.
That's true, that's a good point. We are dealing with human beings, not machines. You see early on, Irwin was looking at a pot shot, looking to actually counter over the top of the wide punches. Bailey. Look for Irwin to work off these ropes here if he gets a chance.
Bailey's willing to mix it up. As he told us yesterday, he said, listen, I'm going to have to stay right there, and I'm going to have to take some of his punches in order to land some. One thing about Bailey, he has those 5 losses in his career, but he's never been knocked out. So he's got a pretty good chin, especially out of the tough man competition.
Yes, he does, but in all fairness, he hasn't been in there with any real world-class guys either.
You gotta work on there. Can't do it until...
Of course, Irwin's been in there with the much better opposition. He's been on the floor several times, but you know he's got a good chin, Mr. Billy Irwin, because he's been in with the better guy.
Bad cut on the left eye of Bailey. It was swollen last round, and now it has opened up into a cut. We'll get referee Frank Cappuccino at the end of the round to let us know if it was from a punch or a clash of heads.
Only thing I could wonder about with Irwin, that I'm a little surprised he hasn't gone to the body to slow down his busy Bailey, because that is his forte, that left hook to the body.
And there it is, not true, Teddy.
He needs to be going there. Slow down this tough guy in front of him.
As I mentioned in his last fight against Jose Vita Ramos, through the first 3 rounds, Ramos had landed 101 of 218 punches. Irwin had landed 33 of 164, but then left hook to the body, left hook to the head, and Irwin was able to finish it off. He does tend to start a bit slowly. There's a right hand right to that cut left eye of Bailey as we hit the end of round 3. All right, Teddy, Irwin digging to the body with that left hand there, and that's what you'd like to see more out of Irwin, right? That hook to the body?
Yeah, definitely slow down this busy man a little bit. No better way than to go to that body.
Round number 4 underway. Take a look at the punch numbers through 3 rounds, and Irwin has landed exactly 14 punches in each of the first 3 rounds. Referee Frank Cappuccino informed us in between rounds 3 and 4 that the cut on Bailey's left eye is a result of a punch. It was swollen in round number 2, and Irwin opened it up. You see Irwin again digging for the body. Double left hook from Irwin.
So you can see that Bailey leaves that jab out a little bit. A little mechanical with it. Leaves it sticking out there, nice and straight, but leaves it out there a little bit. Gives you a chance to counter with the right hand over it. Which Irwin has been trying to do a couple times.
As I mentioned, in his last 8 fights, Irwin is 7-1 with 7 knockouts. The only loss here on Friday Night Fights in October of '98, split decision loss to Gerald Gray. That was his first fight back with trainer Pat Kelly. Prior to that, with previous management and a previous trainer, he was 4-2 with no knockouts in his previous 6, and he said his old manager was putting him in with junior welters and welterweights trying to get him beat. He said he wouldn't fight with him anymore. He said he'd retire before he fought again. He wanted to go back to Kelly and tell you sometimes there's just that chemistry with a fighter and a trainer.
Very important. 75% of this business is psychological, is mental. You have to be confident with the guy in your corner. That's part of it.
Bailey digging for the body a little bit. Irwin with a little uppercut. Half uppercut, half hook.
What you can do sometimes when you're the less experienced guy, you can take the experience away from the more experienced guy by smothering the guy, not letting him use the experience. And that's what Bailey's trying to do here.
Take some blood from the nose with him.
Step back.
Usually when you get distant, you allow the experience to grow. You allow it to come out. The guy can make maneuvers on it. When you're close, like I said, you take away a little bit of that experience. You smother the guy. But right now, Irwin's doing a good job of creating room and finding enough of a gap to sneak counters in on the inside. Hey, Bailey's a little wider with his punches than Irwin. That's the difference.
Bailey continues to press the fight and take it to Irwin. He's been much busier in the first 3 rounds and even here in the 4th round. And Bailey's actually landed some decent shots here in the 4th round. Maybe his best one in the fight. Welcome back to the Blue Horizon in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Billy Irwin, John Bailey underway in round number 5 in the scheduled 10-round lightweight bout. Irwin in the red, ranked number 1 by the IBF in the lightweight division. And Billy the Kid Irwin is patiently waiting for a chance to get a title shot for the IBF championship. And he wants Paul Spadafora. Spadafora won the title last year here on Friday Night Fights against Pito Cardona with an impressive performance. Spadafora has defended it twice, once in his hometown of Pittsburgh, and a couple of weeks ago against Victoriano Sosa in Verona, New York. So we asked Billy Irwin to size up the champion and the belt that he'd like.
I like the guy. He speaks well in all his interviews. He always gives credit to his opponents. He seems like a really good guy. I have nothing bad to say about him at all, except I do think that he was fortunate to have that last fight, everything catered to him, because other referees would have stopped that fight. I mean, they stopped that Derek Gainer, Diego Corrales fight. You saw how he said he was fine. I mean, Spadafora couldn't even talk. He was a mess, and that fight could have been stopped. But like I said, he showed a lot of heart to get up and come back and win the fight. You know, real gutsy effort.
Excellent analogy by Billy Irwin, bringing up Corrales against Gainer. I thought Corrales was going to win that fight anyway, but when the boxer gets hurt, the referee asks him, how you feeling? And he says, I'm fine, and he gives you the gloves and everything. And you stop it.
Yeah, I mean, don't ask him that. He gives you the right answer, then you're supposed to let him go on. If you didn't want the answer, do not ask the question.
And it's not like he hesitated or waffled it on. He gave it right away. I'm not saying that Gainer would have won the fight. I don't think he would have.
He gave the right answer. You're right.
Well, I got to give John Bailey a lot of credit here. He's standing in there and taking the counter shots from Billy Irwin. Cut left eye and all.
He sure is. He's a real gutsy kid. Just as the scouting report said.
Look at that, the average punches thrown per round. Bailey more than doubling Irwin. The problem is that Irwin has landed a lot more punches than Bailey.
Goes to show you it's more than just going out there and throwing punches. It's knowing when to throw the punches.
And Bailey's only landed 41 punches through the first 4 rounds, and 59 landed by Irwin.
See, Irwin landed a good stiff jab a second ago, but he admired his work for a second. And with Bailey, you can't do that because he comes right back.
The right hand set up by the jab from Irwin.
Irwin needs to start putting the punches together a little bit now. He's hitting it with the single shots like that. He needs to start putting it. If it's the right hand, put the hook with it.
They doubled up with the hook. Bailey looked to counter. Interesting bout between Irwin and Bailey. 3-5.
Setter, and then right hand, you go eat. And that's exactly what Billy Irwin did there.
And we are underway with round number 6. Billy Irwin and John Bailey, scheduled 10-round lightweight bout for you. No knockdowns in the fight. Take a look at the punch numbers in round number 5, and you see that Irwin landed 25 of 65, 15 jabs, 10 power shots. Bailey again throwing over 100 punches in the round for the 3rd time the fight he's done that. But he only lands 11 of them. 4 power shots out of 43 attempts.
When you can see Bailey leave that jab out there a little bit, Bob. Irwin can throw the right hand right over.
Bailey won the Ohio Valley Tough Man competition in 1995 at 140 pounds. He was fighting guys 175 pounds. He was a West Virginia state champion in wrestling, so a pretty good athlete. Got the nickname Macho Midget. How about this one? He used to play golf with a friend of his. He was a little guy who hit the ball a long way, and Bailey called him the Macho Midget. And then when Bailey started winning Tough Man competitions, his golfing buddies started calling Bailey the top Macho Midget because he was fighting guys 30 pounds heavier. They swapped nicknames. Joel Aguilar and Joe Carnicelli on CompuBox tonight, and there the punches landed through the first 5.
He knows when to throw. Like I said earlier, it's not just throwing, it's knowing when to throw. And where to throw.
Irwin's a pretty stationary guy. I'm trying to envision him against Spatafora, who gives you so much movement.
Well, you'd have to cut the ring down, use that jab to get in.
Unless Spatafora made the mistake of fighting like he fought against Sosa, where he stood sort of right there in front of him, and then you tipped the scales in Irwin's favor.
You would think that Spatafora, a good student in the game, would have learned. They usually do, kids like Spatafora.
Now a cut on the right eyebrow of Bailey as he is eating left hooks to the head and straight right hands, and Irwin making a miss quite a bit on the inside there. Irwin blocking punches. You see him slip a punch right there.
Irwin needs to put the punches together. He's doing a good job, but he needs to put them together. Instead of left hook, right hand. Right hand, put the left hook with it. It's actually good work for Irwin. He's got a guy in front of him that doesn't have a lot of pop in his punches. Right in front of him, he can get his hands off. He can get rounds out easily. Not bad work for Irwin to get ready for a title fight.
Billy Irwin starting to chop up John Bailey. We hit the end of round 6. Welcome back to Philadelphia. All seats are good at the Blue Horizon. Round number 7 underway between Billy Irwin and John Bailey. Bailey a bloody mess. Cut along the left eye in round 3. In round number 6, his right eye opened up. Irwin landing power shots galore. Irwin landed 25 of 73 punches in the last round. 20 of the 25 connects were power shots. Again, Bailey was busier. Bailey threw over 100 punches, but he landed just 6. And that has been the story throughout the night. That's the most punches in any round that Irwin has thrown. But a huge connect percentage. In fact, Irwin has landed 50 punches in the last 2 rounds alone. Irwin ranked number 1 by the IBF in the lightweight division. 7 consecutive knockout wins. John Bailey has lost 2 of his last 3. Never been knocked out. And Bailey eats a left hook, and then a straight left hand, and then a right hand and left combination.
And that's that right hand over the slow jab of Bailey's. Irwin picked right up on that.
Teddy Atlas's scorecard through the first 6 frames, 60 to 55 in favor of Bailey. He had the third round 10-10. I give Bailey the fourth round, and that's it. Now at 59-55.
You see a good left hook by Irwin again, but he needs to put the second punch there. He's hitting them one at a time.
You wouldn't fit in well with Greg Sherb and Mark Ratner, part of the Association of Boxing Commissioners. They have put out a very, very aggressive and very informative ranking of all judges who have worked at least 6 world title bouts since 1996. And according to their system, it's a no-no when you have a lot of even rounds. You would be disqualified.
I only have one tonight.
It's early.
Right. See there, the left hook. Irwin had an opening for the right hand. Why hit a guy with one when you can hit him with 2?
Well, referee Frank Cappuccino is going to have the ringside physicians take a look at the cut along the eyes of Bailey. Paul Steinberg is the doctor taking a look. And that is it. About to stop. It'll be a TKO win for Billy the Kid Irwin. And the reason why they don't even need to go to the judges' scorecards is because the cuts were caused from punches, not accidental head clashes or anything like that. So John Bailey gave it his all, proved that he is a tough man, but not enough for Billy Irwin. Irwin gets his 8th consecutive stoppage as he literally cuts up John Bailey through 6.5 rounds of this bout. So Billy Irwin improves to 31-3, gets his 21st stoppage. Still holding on and waiting for that shot at the IBF Lightweight Championship, currently held by Paul Spadafora. Irwin landed 132 of 369 punches. Bailey landed just 62 of 665. Billy Irwin wins on a TKO in the 7th round. Let's check in with Brian and Max.
Guys, thank you very much. Hey, John Bailey fought well. He was a tough fighter. At the same time, now you have Irwin. How do you match him up against Paul Spadafora? Well, first I got to say that's a typical Russell Peltz, action-packed, blue horizon, blue-collar fight, but very enjoyable. I think Spadafora will probably outbox Irwin, but off of Spadafora's last fight, it's certainly not a given, and Irwin can't punch. All right, time now for our classic KO. We go back to 1949. Ezzard Charles, his second title defense of the heavyweight title, is taking on Pat Valentino. This in San Francisco, October 14th, 1949.
Charles maneuvers Valentino, looking for an opening. Charles fires a beautiful straight right to Valentino's jaw. In slow motion, here's that perfect punch, which has done the job so often for Charles. Valentino hits the deck, and the referee rushes in to pick up the count. But it's all over for Valentino. He can't make it. Ezzard Charles wins a big victory in defense of his world heavyweight title as he KOs Pat Valentino.
Dodge Dakota brings you a startling new advancement.
As James the Harlem Hammer makes the first defense of the USBA title, he'll take on the veteran Arthur Allen. That coming up in tonight's main event from the Blue
Dodge Dakota brings you a startling new advancement.
As James the Harlem Hammer makes the first defense